Today I am going to show you how we can do RNA sequence analysis in RStudio. Basically, this is a case study which show how we can use bioconductor R pipeline to analyze RNA sequence data. Okay, and I download the data from the website, which contains 4 libraries: A1, A2, B1 and B2. A1 and A2 are both universal human reference RNA samples, and B1 and B2 are human brain reference RNA samples. After downloading the data package, I am going to uncompress this. Okay. But we don't need to uncompress these A1, A2 and B1 and B2 text files. Okay, and the packages which we require are RStudio, and in RStudio we required R substrate library, Limma and HR. Now I am going to open RStudio. Okay. This is our interface. Now we are going to load the libraries and create a design matrix. Okay. The first one is library R subread. Okay. The second one which we need to install is Limma, linear package for microarray data, linear model for microarray data analysis. Okay. Now I am going to load HR package. If you don't have these packages installed, then you just need to install them by through BIOS manager. Okay, just write this command and then enter your package bioconductor package name which you need to install. Okay, we already have these packages. Now we set our significant figures or round of number up to 2. Okay. Now I am going to read my target file. This file, target file, it contains a description of our data. And there is a built-in command in Limma which is read targets. Okay, so but first we need to set our working directory, and our files are on desktop, so we need to set desktop as our working directory. desktop, and I open this, and now through option tab I set as working directory. Now I am going to read targets file and store this in targets variable. Yes, this is the function. You can see this is a function, built-in function in Limma package. Okay, now after running this command, targets file from desktop, they read targets file which are on desktop. See this is the same file which I have on my desktop. Now I want to store my cell type in cell type variable. We are going to make the factor of our cell file which is present in target file, and the function of $sign in R is to show our files column. Okay, so now I'm taking cell type as our column and make the factor and store them in cell type variable. Okay, now see this A, A, B are becoming factor. Now I am going to design a matrix. Okay, design and I will store them in design variable. Design dot matrix. This is a function of stats, and now I am making design matrix according to the cell type. Okay, now we make our design matrix. This is our design matrix. Now I am going to show targets file again. See. Now see the difference. They are the same. Okay. Output file, input file. Now we are going to build an index for human chromosome 1. This is our chromosome 1 reference demo. Okay. We are going to make our index by taking this HG19 chromosome file. I am using build index command which is present in R subread package. Now base name, which is I am going to make the chromosome 1. Index name chromosome 1. And now I am taking my reference genome. Reference genome, which is HG19 chromosome F8. FASTA file. This genome is in FASTA file. Now I'm going to copy their name and paste them under quotation. And also write their extension. Now it takes 3 to 4 minutes to build our index file name chromosome 1. And you can see this, our memory is 4 GB, free memory is 4 GB and total memory is 8 GB. You should have a good PC with good space to run this experiment. Now see this, it is running properly and you can see the rate as well. See this 2.5 GB of memory. It is huge memory, 2.5 GB. So you should have a good computer. we are completing our first step, which is index building, and you can see that it is total, it takes 4.3 minutes, and the index is built on my PC, chromosome 1. It is 0 byte and chromosome 1 read, chromosome 1 files. All files are made on my PC after index. Please make the index. Now we are going to perform read alignment of all 4 libraries and report uniquely mapped reads only. And we will report uniquely mapped reads only. After this, they generate SAM file, which includes the results. Align. This is align function present in RC subread package, and we take index. Our index, this is chromosome 1. And then we are going to read file 1. For alignment we need files, targets, targets $sign and input file. Okay, we are going to read targets file with column name input file, and now we are going to use import format function, and we take basically our files are in zip file, or all files, these A1, A2, B1 and B2 are zip files and in TXT. Okay, and but we want to take FASTQ, which is sequencing reads format, as our input format. Now what is output format? We want output in BAM. BAM is basically basically the binary version of SAM file. Okay, and SAM file contains sequence alignment data. Okay. Now we want our output in BAM format, binary language format. And now I am going to declare my output file. I take targets and column output file as our output file format, file is unique, so we use unique command. We use true in unique. True means it is unique. If it is not unique, then we can write false here. And now we have to define index mutation as well, which is 5. But we are taking 5 as a default. Okay. Okay. Now by mistake I put this separator. Now we are going to perform alignment. Our alignment is started and it takes up to 5 minutes. See this first BAM file is made. SAM means sequence alignment map and BAM means binary alignment map. Sequence alignment map is a text-based format originally used for storing biological sequence which is aligned to the reference genome. Just that like in our case. Okay. It will first check the input read, then space read, then estimate the mean read length, and then thyroid score. Thyroid scores are the quality scores of first 2 files. Now they are creating the BAM file, and in this process they first check the index which we made in the previous process. Okay, see, now the summary file is also created, index file and then summary file of A1. Now the program is working on A2. These A1 and A2 are both universal human reference RNA. samples. Here is A2 BAM. A2.bam are still creating by RStudio. Okay, now they are going to create B1.bam. They complete the creation of A1 and A2. Now they are working on B1.bam. also making index blender file. Now they start working on B2. See this, I am opening the index file in Notepad. See this is reference chromosome reference genome, and then it show what is reference and also show index. See this is also going to complete, and they are also showing the rate. Okay, now the alignment of our 4 files are completed. They show you the reads and all total reads and all 5, then map reads. Okay, see this, the all reads are not mapped. Okay, something is remaining, 5,000 and some, I think 3,000. Okay, then uniquely mapped reads and the unmapped reads, they are also shown unmapped reads and indents, which is our insertion and deletion mutation. Okay, now our third step is to summarize mapped reads. These are our mapped reads, and we have to summarize these reads to reference sequence. Ref sequence is the database, and we have to map. We are going to map, summarize map reads to reference sequence database genes. Okay, and we will use feature count function, which returns a R list object which includes a raw read count for each gene in each library, and also annotation information for genes such as gene identifiers and gene names. because feature count function has built-in annotation. Okay, so now first we take variable fc, and now we are going to use feature count function. And now we have to write our targets file, output file. Output file, and now we have to write our annotation. Annotation basically describing the data of data, and annotation inbuilt is for our data is HG90. See this? Now they are processing our files, BAM files. Now they basically summarize our summary. See this BAM summary. This command will create the summary file. Okay? Now see this summary file. We also see it before running this script in RStudio. Now we show the summary through this command, through feature count function. Now we take x variable, and we are now showing our DGE list, differentially gene expressions list. FC is basically the variable where we store our feature counts. Okay, so FC have our counts. Okay, and genes, we have genes also. And in genes we have to annotate our genes, so we use annotation from feature.count function. Now I am going to concatenate show annotation only through gene ID and length. So I use C for concatenation. Now after C I am using brackets, round brackets. We need to use round brackets. Okay. And here we write gene ID because we want to annotate through gene ID and length. Gene ID and length, these are two parameters through which I annotate my DAG, differentially gene expression list. See, this X variable contains series. Now the gene ID and length, these two parameters we are using to store our differential expression. And if we need RPKM value for genes, we can use RPKM commands as well. RPKM basically reads per kilo base of transcript per million map reads. We map our reads here, and when we read per kilo base, then it becomes RPKM. Now we take one variable RPKM, and we are going to store RPKM values in this X variable. We use RPKM function. This RPKM function is present in addr, okay? And we use our previous X in which we store our differentially gene list. Now we use X and genes and also their length as their column, okay? Because we want to generate RPKM, so we need two arguments. Now see this. Okay. Now see this. These are our RPKM value, which is generated through this RPKM function. Now we have fourth step, which is filtering, okay? Because we want to keep those genes in the analysis which have greater than 10 reads per million map reads in at least two libraries, okay? Now we take expr as our variable, and we are now going to sum our raw sum through raw sum function. CPM basically compute counts per million, okay? Or read per kilo. This is similar to RPKM, and we use X. And now I already told you that we only want those genes which have the value more than 10. So we use the operator greater than and use 10, okay? And now we want to use at least two libraries so we declare greater than is equal to 2, so it will count 2 or more than 2 libraries. See this? Now we are modifying our data, and we convert our data into expression data. By is expression. This is a function. See this? Now this is our expected expression data, okay? Now we have the fifth step, which is normalization. In this case study, we perform Boom normalization. It is the method of normalization. And it is present in lemma series. X, we take X as variable. Then design our design matrix, which we made in first step, and now we also want to plot, so we use plot and then make them true. Okay, see this. Now this is mean variance trend and plot, and log 2 of count price are in x-axis, and square root standard deviation are on y-axis. This figure shows the mean variance relationship estimated by Boom for our data. Okay. Now we have sixth step, which is sample clustering. Okay. For sample clustering, we can simply say clustering. We use plot MDS function. Okay. This plot MDS samples function samples on a two-dimensional scatter plot, so the distances on the plot approximate the typical log 2 fold change between the samples. Now we take y. We already declare y in the previous step, and then I take the limit x limit function, because in x-axis we have to define our limit, and our limit is, and we can concatenate our limit. It is minus 2.5 our x-axis are from minus 2.5 to 2.5. See this. These graph shows, this MDS graph show multi-dimensional scaling, and it shows sample A libraries are clearly separated from sample B libraries. See, these both are not same. Okay, because I already told you in the starting that sample A contains A1, A2 are in the samples A, and it contains universal human reference RNA, but B1 and B2 contains human brain reference RNA. So you can see in the MDS plot that these two are different. Okay. Now we are going to make linear model and do differential analysis. Okay. These are two conditions, different B and A. Okay. These are two different data sets. Okay. Now we are using fit as our variable, and we use e-bias, empirical bias method to estimate our J. It is present in lemma, and this is LM fit function. LM fit function of lemma, which makes linear model. And now we take y and already in first step we design our design matrix. Now see this, our model is now made linear model. Okay, now for DEG's calculation we use top table command. And we use fit, which contains our linear fit model, and coefficient we declare is equal to see this. Here we list top 10 differentially expressed genes between A and versus A and B. These two are different samples, these two are different conditions. So this is a list of top 10 genes which express differentially in these in these four samples and two conditions. Okay, now I am going to save this file in CSV format. I write, okay, now first we have to save this top table into some variable. I declare DEGs as a variable, and again now our DEGs are stored in DEGs variable. Now I am going to write this file, store this file in CSV format, and I write the name DEGs.CSV. Now see this, see, now it is stored in my desktop. These are differentially expressed genes. These 10 differentially expressed genes. Okay, and now I'm going to show you how we can. This is gene ID, and now we can show. I'm going to show you what are differentially upregulated and what are downregulated. Normally the value which is positive shows upregulated genes, and the value which are in negative shows downregulated genes. So I take minimum number as 1, -1, and maximum number as 2. See this. In these 10 genes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 are upregulated and 5 are downregulated. Okay. See this, and I am hopeful that you all will enjoy this lecture.